Hello, Colas, and welcome back to Viva Barca. Welcome to the home of everything Barcelona, where we are going to be discussing on some interesting updates. We start with Memphis Depay, as it has been reported that the Barcelona forward wants to leave for free in January. Manchester United and Tottenham Hotspur are keen. We are going to be discussing on that as we progress. Secondly, talking about Jorginho, as it has been reported that Juventus are set to rival Barca for the signing of the Chelsea midfielder. We are also going to be looking at that. Then lastly, talking about Martin Zubimendi, as Barcelona sporting director Jordi Cruyff sounds at Zubimendi's deal as Barca optimism grows. We're also going to be discussing on that. So guys, before we get right into it in much detail, please do ensure to subscribe to the channel if you haven't. Turn on the post bell notification to always stay notified whenever I post a new video. Consider liking the video and please watch it right up to the very end. Barca! 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 It seems like Memphis Depay's time at Barcelona could soon be coming to an end. Memphis Depay had found game time so hard to come by at the start of the ongoing season and had then been sidelined with an injury since September. Barca have played their final game before the World Cup break and will return to action on New Year's Eve when they face local rivals RCD Espanyol, and it is unclear whether Depay will be a part of manager Xavi Hernandez's plans by that time. The 28-year-old had fallen out of favor this term and had made just 3 appearances before his injury, and Barca have reportedly been contemplating the option of moving him on in the winter transfer window. Now, as relayed by Sport, Depay himself has asked the club to let him leave on a free transfer in the January transfer window, with Manchester United and Tottenham Hotspur monitoring the situation. It is no secret that the Netherlands striker was close to leaving Barcelona for Juventus in the summer window until a deal fell through. Furthermore, Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang's late move to Chelsea dented any hopes of his exit. However, Depay wants to resurrect his career after struggling for game time at Spotify Camp Nou this season and does not wish to wait until the summer to do so. Hence, he has asked Barca to sanction an exit in the January transfer window. It is reported that the 28-year-old wants the Catalans to grant him a letter of freedom and allow him to leave for free like they were planning to do in the summer. This development has seemingly alerted 2 clubs in England in the form of Manchester United and Tottenham Hotspur. The Red Devils know Depay very well, given that he had a stint at Old Trafford in the past, albeit a largely forgettable one. Meanwhile, Tottenham Hotspur had been linked with a move for the Dutchman during the summer, although nothing materialized. If the versatile forward will be available for free in the January transfer window, the club or the 2 clubs would likely be interested in the move. The report claims it all depends on Barcelona, whether they are willing to let him leave for nothing, even though he still has 6 months left on his contract. Memphis Depay's future remains uncertain, of course, with many reports coming out lately saying that he might leave the club in January. Definitely his contract ends in the summer of 2023. So there's that dilemma of if Memphis Depay will leave or Barca will keep him till the end of the season. And according to this report, it is said that Depay have told Barca that they should allow him to leave in January. He wants to leave and further his career elsewhere, as he looks so unhappy now, to be honest. I don't see Memphis Depay playing with free spirit. He's not at the club with joy. And definitely, this is not how things were planned. When he joined Barca, when Ronald Koeman was still in charge last year, he thought that this might just be a huge step in his career to achieve many things in his life as a footballer, but it all quite turns out the opposite because it has been so frustrating. Depay always been on the bench, despite being injured right now. Even if he was not injured, Depay could have been on the bench throughout, and definitely he's not happy with that. He's a player who have been used to it. Being a starter in the Netherlands, he's a starter. When he was at Lyon, he was a starter. Coming to Barca, Koeman was always starting him. So this treatment that he's receiving right now is not something that he's used to. And it's not surprising that he wants to leave the club in January, according to the new reports. But if Whether Barcelona will accept his request of leaving in the winter window, it all remains to be seen, because right now I think Barca will be reluctant. But if they even want to sell, they will expect something in return. But the player, according to this report, want Barca to hand him a letter of freedom that it will make him a free agent. But I don't know if Barca will accept that. Then on to the next story of discussion. Juventus will rival Barcelona for the signing of Chelsea midfielder Jorginho, who is out of contract at Stamford Bridge in the summer. Barca have eyed the Italian international as a possible replacement for Sergio Busquets due to the fact his deal expires in June, although Chelsea could yet offer him a renewal. Jorginho, who is 30 years old, has not yet signed a new terms with the Premier League giants because they do not want to pay the 13.6 million euros that he wants to stay put. With looser tax rules in Italy, Juve have told the players camp that they could get close to his financial demands. What's more, they have stepped up negotiations with the idea of closing in an agreement in January when he moved into the final 6 months of his contract. Barca have been informed of Juve's arrival on the scene as the old lady look to strengthen after exiting the Champions League early as well. Domestically, they are already 10 points behind leaders Napoli in Serie A too. Barcelona's priority is to bring in Martin Zubimendi, but his 60 million euro price tag is, obliging them to look at other options. Then moving on to the next story of discussion, Barcelona are preparing to make a big investment on a deep line midfielder as they prepare for life without Sergio Busquets, who is out of contract in the summer. Barca have been combing the market for months and have put several names on the table for coach Xavi Hernandez. There are a variety of profiles, from one physical player to players who are more experienced, and some that are available for free in June. More than 10 players have been observed closely by the sporting department, but the Real Sociedad's Martin Zubimendi remains the top target. Xavi wants him and is convinced by his positional play, his touch and his age as the replacement for Busquets. There are no doubts inside the club, but his 60 million euro price tag generates doubts about making a mistake. The investment could be risky for Xavi, so let's see. Barca have approached the players' camp. Sporting director Yuri Cruyff, of course, has intensified contact with Zubimendi's agent, who has had a direct relationship for years. Inaki Ibanez, Zubimendi's agent, was also Cruyff's agent when he was a player. He collaborated with Barca in other deals too, such as the arrival of Aubameyang on a free transfer last January. Barca saw Zubimendi's recent renewal until 2027 as a good sign, as his clause remains 60 million. The big question is if Barca will be able to negotiate that down, or at least agree to a permanent schedule, or maybe even giving a player in exchange on that. What Barca don't want is for relations to become hostile with Sociedad. They would want to reach a friendly agreement, but be it that in January or next summer, which would be more natural. It is clear there are no options if a Zubimendi deal proves impossible. A few months ago, it seemed more complicated, but there's some optimism right now that a deal can be brokered. Xavi's insistence is strong, so Barca will try and try. The priority is Zubimendi, but don't throw anyone else out yet. So guys, with that, we have come to an end of this episode. Thanks a lot for watching. Until next time, bye bye.